behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Paul Mash TV. Paul Mash TV.
Well, hello there, Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got another great episode coming up in just a second. Before we do, don't forget to subscribe and bell buttons if you haven't done that already, and you're always going to be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And if you'd like to, leave a comment on the comment section. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And also, if you pay attention to the description part as well as the closing credits at the end of this program, we'll have contact info, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Nashville, Tennessee today, we have Carlton B. He's another great artist, and I think you're really going to love him, and he's also part of the From Nashville, Tennessee today, we have Carlton B. He's another awesome artist, and he's part of Miss Benita's God's Got Talent that we've been having off and on for the last few weeks. And I think you're really going to love him. And we're going to get to that in a second, but first, here's a word from the Caden Gordon Show, so don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Nashville, Tennessee today, we have Carlton B. Thanks for joining us, Carlton.
Hey, great to see you, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to have you here. And this is going to be a little bit different, even though he is an artist. So we're going to be mostly focusing on a company that he runs called Excellence in Motion. And why don't you tell everybody about Excellence in Motion? Tell us a little bit about what you do for that.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit I founded to solve problems in my community. And so we promote STEM education to youth, and working in workforce development and affordable housing are current and future plans.
Okay, well that's a great thing for kids, like you said, for kids. And as far as being an artist yourself, I mean, did you always want to be an artist? I mean, did you kind of fall into it later? I mean, everyone has their own story, though. Go ahead and tell us about yours.
Yeah. So Paul, I grew up in the church like a lot of artists. I grew up at Fairfield Baptist Church, and there's a group of gentlemen called the Fairfield Four that were a pretty notable gospel group, and so they were based out of the church. And so growing up in that culture, and also just growing up in Nashville, growing up near Fisk University, the home of the Fisk Jubilee Singers, who really gave Nashville their name. That Music City name comes from their visits to Europe, and the Queen there giving, saying, "Hey, y'all must be from a musical city." So growing up in the church, that gave me my exposure to music. And then the public schools, I had great teachers, that taught us, like music theory and classical training. And I even had one that helped me to get my first copyright, with, who allowed us to perform like our original music at venues when we would go out with the choir. So, I had a really cool, exposure to music as a young person, and that grew, and those experiences eventually led me to start doing my own projects and producing. And while I haven't had any major hits, I've got to work with a lot of really cool people across the country and built a pretty cool network where I'm able to help others. And from my experiences, I've at least learned, how to monetize and copyright and do a lot of the things that are needed for a label to be effective.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. I mean, I hope you get more music out there for people, and you're good to go for many years now. And what were some of the influences that you had growing up? I mean, I'm sure that you grew up with a lot of different, listening to a lot of different artists and whatnot. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think I'm probably most heavily influenced by soul artists. Like the James Browns, the even going to, Nat King Cole, you think of him as more jazz. But artists that really bridged, genres, artists that really represented America. One I'm really sad about right now is D'Angelo. He passed just a few days ago, maybe even just yesterday. And he was just a huge influence. I was watching some videos of him and his music, and was really just moved at how big a part his two or three albums. I think he put out maybe three albums in his lifetime. How big those were for me in my experiences. But Paul, like you said, I've listened to everything, man. So growing up in Nashville, man, I love country music. I'm proud of Jelly Roll to see the work he's doing. Glad to see just all the different people who are doing their thing right now in pop music. But yeah, I love all different types from rock to, I mean, I don't know if I'm a Swiftie, but I respect Taylor Swift and what she does. Um, I really appreciate a lot of what's going on right now in music. I feel like it's very authentic at this time, and it's a great time to make music.
Yeah, I mean, and even a few artists you just mentioned, like Nat King Cole, I think you mentioned he was definitely a legend. He had a lot of great music back in the day, and like I said, Taylor Swift's really good, and of course we are sad to hear about D'Angelo that you just mentioned. Um, if people want to hear more about the Excellence in Motion and also your music, I mean, tell people where they could go for that.
Yes, so you can visit excellenceinmotion.org, and that's where you can learn more about Excellence in Motion. If you'd like to learn more about myself, you can visit carltonb.com. That's my personal page. It has links to my social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and different things. And I'm available on all digital sites as Carlton B, Carltonb. My favorite stuff that I've produced is under Voyager 11. I did that with a friend of mine. We made a couple tracks that were kind of America inspired. And that's Voyager 11, and American is one of my favorite songs that we produced. It has space in it where someone can freestyle or put their own thoughts in, but it's upbeat and fun. And we made it for commercial purposes. So we work in sync and a lot of other places. But before we wrap up, one of the big things in my musical heritage and part of my work now is the preservation of historic Jefferson Street. It's a place. It's kind of like the Beale Street of Nashville. North Nashville is kind of like Harlem, or it was a place where African Americans thrived at one point, and we had music there. Literally everybody from Nat King Cole to um, Jimi Hendrix to, I mean, just so many greats, Tina Turner, so many people I can't even begin to name. At one point or another, performed on Jefferson. And so I've been really blessed to be and not intentionally, but it just kind of happened when you volunteer and get involved in things. Part of a group of people that are working to keep that music heritage alive through jazz concerts and jazz venues, and hoping to bring some other things to help preserve and revitalize that music heritage we have there.
Hmm. Okay, well, check them out everywhere, like you said, at excellentemotion.org and also the streaming sites and his personal official website. You know, it's all there for you. And check him out. I know he love you for that. And again, this is another artist that's part of God's Got Talent. And we're going to play a song for you in a minute here. But tell us a little bit in your own words about God's Got Talent. It's done by Benita, Miss Benita, and she's a really great woman. And she's given me a lot of artists over the years. And anyway, tell us in your own words about what you think about God's Got Talent.
Yeah, Paul. So God's Got Talent is a wonderful thing that Miss Benita's put together. It's an opportunity for families to come out, industry professionals to network. I'll be there doing a kids activity area. So we'll be doing some STEM and STEAM based activities that I think kids and young adults will love. And then I'm also part of a panel. And so I'm part of a panel that will be talking about nonprofit and nonprofit business. So if you have any questions about starting a nonprofit, maintaining your nonprofit, filing your bylaws, things like that, you'll want to be there. So it'll be myself and a few other industry experts answering questions on that. And I got with Miss Benita, and she told me that I could do this. So the first 10 people who sign up and actually pay and do what they need to, I'm gonna give you a 30-minute one-on-one with me to answer questions directly. Give you 30 minutes of my time, undivided attention, answer your questions, get you pointed in the right direction. I've helped at least a dozen people or more found their own nonprofits. I'd love to help you as well because it takes people doing the work to help our communities. But yeah, Paul, great question, man. Great question.
Yeah, no problem. And if you want to contact Miss Benita herself, she'll have tickets for sale to this event. So most of the videos we've had have that enabled under the video, but we won't have that this one. But all you got to do is email him or Miss Benita herself, and she'll give you all the information you need to get tickets to the event. And I know you'll have a great time there. And
Yeah, it's November 15th. November 15th, and forgive me, I can't remember the exact location, but it's November 15th in Delaware. And if you visit the Miss Benita Show website, and she's got flyers and everything up. I don't want to pull one up because I don't want the phone to crash or anything. But yeah, man, Paul, thank you so much for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem. And even if you want to know the information too, I think it's at the Rehoboth Civic Center. I think it is, and she'll be happy. Like I said, she'll be happy to give you the tickets to that. And as you mentioned just a moment ago, you mentioned the "America I Can" song. Is there anything else you want to tell us about that song? Is there a story behind it? Or?
Yeah, it was one that we composed with kind of like mental health in mind. And so it has space on there. So the chorus is I'm American, like yeah, I can. And for myself, I've probably spit some really amazing verses driving in the car that no one will ever hear, but it was quite therapeutic for me just having that outlet. So, as an American right now, if you want to, vent, if you want to just, celebrate being an American, it's a cool track that you can freestyle and say some cool stuff. It was created. So yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Thanks, Paul. That was a cool question. If nobody's ever asked me that about that. That was a cool question.
Yeah, that's not a problem, and we're going to get to that in a second. That video, I know you'll love it. I really enjoy it, and want to thank you again, Carlton, for being on the show today. Anytime you want to come back on the show, maybe you can let me know. We'll have you back on again sometime, especially if you have anything new to plug.
Yeah, man. Awesome, man. Would love to. And if you don't mind, just as I'm, in case anybody's watching this, we've got the November 15th thing going on in Delaware, and also in Nashville on October 25th. We'll be at Cassie Gardner Park on historic Jefferson Street. Jazz concert starting around 4. And if you're in town, stop by. It's a free event open to the public. You'll have a great time. Food vendors and just family fun, intimate venue. You'll enjoy it. Paul, thank you so much. And yeah, man, I'd love to come back on when I got some other really cool stuff going. I got some cool announcements I'm hoping I can make in the very near future. But either way, man, it's been an absolute honor being on your show. And thank you so much for having me on, brother.
Yeah, no problem. And here it is, America I Can, and it starts right now.
I'm American, like yeah I can. 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 You can call me Sam, but you won't tread on me. Florida to New York, LA to DC. This is the land of the brave and the home of the free. I'm American, like yeah I can. You can call me Sam, but you won't tread on me. Florida to New York, LA to DC. This is the land of the brave and the home of the free. I'm American, like yeah I can. I'm American, like yeah I can. I'm American, like yeah I can. You can call me Sam, but you won't tread on me. Florida to New York, LA to DC. This is the land of the brave and the home of the free. I'm American, like yeah I can. You can call me Sam, but you won't tread on me. Florida to New York, LA to DC. This is the land of the brave and the home of the free. I'm American, like yeah I can. I'm American, like yeah I can. I'm American, like yeah I can. You can call me Sam, but you won't tread on me. Florida to New York, LA to DC. This is the land of the brave and the home of the free. I'm American, like yeah I can. You can call me Sam, but you won't tread on me. Florida to New York, LA to DC. This is the land of the brave and the home of the free. I'm American.